Will humanity experience a calmer 2025?
Well, what matters most is what you experience in 2025. We didn't come here to suffer and live in lack and limitation and struggle. There's more consciousness on our planet than ever before. The vibration is higher. We're summoning more energy into the planet, into our experiences, into our lives than ever before. There is a far greater purpose for Earth and its inhabitants in this vast and glorious universe once you have awakened individually and collectively. And maybe the most important thing that you do in 2025.
Are you ready to shine? Shine bright. Woohoo! Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation. If you've been wondering what's coming in 2025 and whether it will be all right or even better, then do we have the Sara Landon and the Council show for you. Today, I'll be talking with Sara Landon, transformational leader, teacher, channel of the council, and the author of a beautiful book, The Wisdom of the Council. And that's just what I want to talk with her about today, about what's coming in the year ahead, where humanity is at today, and whether we will still make it through these challenging times. So welcome back to the show, Sara. Are you ready to shine?
Absolutely. I'm so happy to be here with you, Michael, and with the Inspire Nation community. Let's have an awesome conversation today. I can't wait to see what comes through.
Woohoo! I can't either. We're going to have a yacht or two coming behind us, helping to raise the vibration for the new year. How does that sound?
That sounds perfect. It's right in line with the council's guidance for 2025, I assure you.
Excellent. So before we dive right in, and my tongue was trying to twist over that intro, it's this energy of the new year already trying to come through. Will humanity experience a calmer 2025?
Well, what matters most is what you experience in 2025. All of you are on your awakening journeys, coming into realization and enlightenment, knowing the masters that you are, embodying more of your light and more of your love. And so for all of you, your amazing community that is choosing to step into those higher levels of consciousness and be the love that you are, 2025 is going to be an absolutely amazing year for you. Now, humanity as a whole is on their own journey. Everyone else is too. And so while some of us can relate in our awakening experiences, not always being the easiest time in our lives, you yourself can really thrive and live in harmony during this time and hold the light and hold a vibration for all of humanity and all who are choosing to come into that energy of harmony and thriving themselves. So I couldn't be more excited about 2025.
Woohoo! So that begets the question. Lots of woohoos here today. How do we choose this? Because people are going to be going, okay, if we choose it. Heard you say that several times. What do we choose? How do we do it?
What you focus on and the meaning that you give it is what is creating your reality. So you are choosing with your perspective on things. You're choosing with the consciousness and the vibration that you bring to every moment. You're choosing through being in your power in the now moment and focusing on what it is you want to create and what you want to experience. We are all on our own journeys, and the council tells us that we'll cause our own suffering and struggle when we think we know what someone else's journey should be. You can only choose for you. And so, number one, in this moment, are you in the moment? All of your power is in the now moment. And it's an incredibly important practice to choose to be in your power in the moment. So you're not in the past thinking about things that happened before. You're not trying to figure out the future. You're really in the moment, which is where all of your power is. Now, you do create your reality through the now moment, but you've got to be in the moment, in your power in order to do so. We're also choosing with the thoughts that we are thinking, which really come from our perspective perspective. So if you think life is awful and terrible, your thoughts are going to continue habitually down a pathway of looking for what's wrong and looking for what's terrible and looking for the struggle. You, as a divine, infinite being of light and love, know that there's a grander perspective going on here. And it's this practice to shift to that higher perspective and really choose to see things from a higher perspective, which will then align to that experience in your reality. So if this for you is a time of harmony in your life, of joy, of expansion and fulfillment, then you're going to experience more of that as part of your perspective of what's really going on here. And I think one of the most powerful teachings of the council, no matter what's going on in your life, is to remember that everything is always happening for you, but it's really important to include the next couple of parts. Everything is always happening for you to bring you into new levels of your power so that you can get clear on what you really want and create your reality the way you want it to be. So let me give you one simple thing to focus on as far as what are you choosing? Ask yourself the question, what experience would be fun? Instead of what am I trying to fix? What am I trying to change? What am I trying to even create or manifest? What experience would be fun for you? Would it be fun for you to have more deeply connected relationships in your life this year? Would it be fun for you to have the experience of writing a book and sharing it with others? Would it be fun for you to travel more this year? Start to shift into that. What do you choose? What experiences are you choosing for yourself? The council tells us that we're here for expansion. We're here to express all that we truly are. And we're here to choose the experiences that you want to have for you. So all of the power is within you, and you can absolutely choose.
Thank you. And I want to go to the council in a little bit. And it's interesting. I had my daily woohoo newsletter earlier today, which was about being in that present sweet spot moment. And then I went out and recorded a video while out on a betrayal, all about your perspective. So the alignment is really here today. And at the same time, what I'm hearing from the audience, because I'm hearing, even though we're recording, I can hear them saying, this Debbie Downer, dun, 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 but this is going on in the world. But this other thing is taking place. But, how do I focus on myself when all of this?
But is it going on in your world? You have the power to create your life the way you want it to be. And so if you're looking at things that are happening outside of you, out there, and it's causing you to feel powerless in this moment in your own life, then it's your opportunity to shift to your experience, your life here and now. How is whatever's going on in your life, if it's really happening in your experience, how is it bringing you into new levels of your power? Let's just say someone's in a really challenging relationship and it's not harmonious anymore. The energy's gone out of it. You can't seem to get along, whether it's a significant other or a challenge between family members or friends or a boss or coworkers, things like that. You have the ability to create your life the way you want it to be. But instead of being in your power in those relationships, you're more focused on the resistance that you're experiencing with this person. And that likely makes you want to change them. Just like we want to change the world outside of us, we tend to want to change the people outside of us. When your opportunity is, how is this bringing me into my power? In what way in this relationship am I giving my power away? Am I not truly being who I am? And I can think back to a relationship in my life when I was really wanting to share the council's wisdom with the world, and I was wanting to be a published author, and I was wanting to be a spiritual teacher. And it wasn't in harmony with what that person that I was in a relationship with wanted for their life. They were looking for something different. And so no matter how hard we tried, we couldn't come into harmony and really get along. But I realized that it wasn't about him trying to change. I was not being in my power. I was not being who I truly am. I was not taking total responsibility for creating my life the way I wanted it to be. And the second that I made that shift within me, everything became choiceless at that moment. And my work with the council took off. We became great friends, but it made, it clear that we were no longer meant to be in a relationship with each other. And sometimes you coming into your power in a relationship actually creates a much better, stronger, more intimate relationship with people in your lives. But again, how are you giving your power away? Example of the outside world, and I'll just use my own example here. When that Sarah McLachlan commercial comes on for like the animal welfare organizations and charities, I used to just turn it off as fast as I could because I would instantly feel powerless and I would project that powerlessness on those animals. And I interpreted the song and the video that went with it as, oh, these poor, powerless animals, right? And I had to make the shift inside of myself that I know that all animals are divine, sentient beings that are here with a purpose as well. And it was the shift of coming back into my power. I could see them in their power. Now, if I take inspired action towards animal welfare from that place, I am in alignment and congruent with seeing them as the powerful beings that they too are versus feeling powerless and victimized and then projecting it on them.
I'm trying not to laugh, not at you, not even with you.
No, this is
So
not
we're
in the daily woohoo too, is it?
no, it's weirder. It's weirder still. So I said I tripped over my tongue when I started, and you may or may not have caught this. Please forgive me. When I said, "Welcome to the show, Sarah, are you ready to shine?" I actually said Sawa instead of Sarah. And I go, oh my God. So I had a service animal for over 17 years by the name of Sawa. And Sawa was always second fiddle to a coy dog, a coyote that I had until the coyote passed away. And the last year of her life, she got to step into her power. She was this very feminine, dainty in a sense, but strong Brittany. And she got to step into her power. And we would do things like go to corn mazes. And she would guide us through the whole maze without making a wrong turn and do all these cool things because we called her team leader and allowed her to fully embody her power. And she completely lit up. So please forgive me of how I said that in the beginning, but it's her energy in a sense of, I guess we're going to call 2025 the year of stepping into our power that came through.
Yes, summoning your power to flourish, to thrive, to shine, to prosper. That's what this year 2025 is about. It's your time to thrive in 2025. And I have to agree with you because my previous two animals were both rehomed, we'll call it that way. They had some issues in their experience. And I know without a doubt that even though they might be considered rescue dogs, that they were powerful beings that summoned to them a new experience where they could really thrive in the later years of their life. They were both a little bit older, but my female was 6 years old. She had been through this experience and she had never really been seen for who she truly was and the powerful being that she was, but she got to live that fully in the later years of her life. The other one was an 11-year-old dog that that they say this word rescue, but he literally created a new reality for him where he was loved and spoiled and had so much fun and had a constant companion instead of being locked in a backyard 24 hours a day. Animals are powerful beings. Human beings are of the most powerful beings in all of the universe. We tend to think that these higher beings from higher realms have all the power and that we don't, but we really do. And so you being in your power reflects to everyone around you the ability to choose to be in their power, and that includes the animals too. We are not serving the animals by seeing them as victims, right? We serve the animals by seeing the powerful sentient beings that they are too. And of course, the same is true with humans. We need to see them as in their power. And I had an experience years ago I lived in a downtown area at a point in my life, and I would walk my dogs all the time. And I would walk by this particular park at a certain time of the day. It was a homeless community that they could go and sleep at night and get a warm meal, but then they had to be gone all during the day. And a lot of them would go to this park. And I would walk by these people, and there was one particular man that always got my attention. And so day after day, we'd say hi and smile, and then we started to talk. And he was the most fascinating person. He was free. He was living the life he wanted to live. And he was not a victim. He was not a homeless, poor homeless person. He would tell me stories about his life and being in the military. And he would say, I want to be free. I don't want to have a family. I don't want to have a house to pay for. I don't want to have a job. I just want to be free at this point in my life. And that's what he was experiencing. And he taught me so much. So again, this is back to shifting your perspective and choosing the perspective that is actually aligned to the truth of who you are and who everyone is. And it really is our time. And I cannot emphasize that enough. You, me, every single person in your community, and everyone who will ever watch or listen to this. It is truly your time to shine, to thrive, to flourish in your life. The council tells us that from we came from an energy of thriving. We were thriving before we incarnated on earth. We didn't come here to suffer and live in lack and limitation and struggle. We came here to this incredible earth experience and all it had to offer. And we knew that it was all here for us to thrive. We are meant to thrive in our relationships. We are meant to thrive in our body. We are meant to thrive as we do what we love and we're passionate about. And so let's take relationships, for example. You might say, I'm not thriving in my relationships, and all of my relationships are difficult, or most all of my relationships are difficult. How could it possibly be that I was meant to thrive? And you've got to go back from a grander perspective and really see that when you were a child, you learned from others around you, your parents, your family, your siblings, your teachers, what relationships were about and how to act. And so if you didn't have the most conscious, loving parents to demonstrate to you how relationships thrive, or you didn't have someone in your life, and most of the time people around you were in an unconscious, reactive, triggered, victimized state, you didn't see or learn that relationships are meant to thrive. But there's something inside of you that knows that. And the second you shift that perspective to, wow, what if the council's right? What if I really am meant to thrive in my relationships? Just that perspective alone will draw to you a new awareness of how you want to create your relationships. And I assure you that you can be in relationships that thrive. And what you are contributing to everyone around you is this example or this way or this path to having relationships thrive in their life too. But I know your community and I know the people that watch Inspire Nation and you and me. We want to help. We want to make a better world. We want to make a difference. We want to be in service. We want to create a better world. But understand, we don't do that by getting triggered with the things in the outside world that we deem as wrong or bad. We don't do that by judging others in our life and thinking that they are wrong or bad. And we certainly don't do that by judging ourselves and thinking that we're wrong and bad. We do that by creating it within ourselves, that which we most want for the world. And then we are an example, a way shower of others to others of what's possible.
Thank you. So I'm going to start bringing it back to 2025 and hope to go to the council here shortly. Is 2025 a year? I just watched some clouds get really thin above me and pull into these little puffy circles. Is it a year where the veil starts to thin, get to pull apart, and it is easier to get in, be in, or see ourselves in the power, or even attract to us as we're going into this new year and this new era?
Yes, absolutely. There's more consciousness on our planet than ever before. The vibration is higher. We're summoning more energy into the planet, into our experiences, into our lives than ever before. Again, it comes back to you. Are you living consciously? Are you living in a higher vibration? Are you really shining your light and summoning your own energy into your experience? And I think it's easier than ever. I have seen other interviews and I don't disagree with anyone, but I think it's to say that humanity is going to struggle. Maybe, but that doesn't have to be your experience and your reality. You have come into a level of consciousness and a vibrational frequency of living in a higher state of being where there is harmony and there is joy and there is love and abundance and well-being. And then that continues to expand in your life.
Does that? And this was a question. This was going to be first question for the council, but you already brought it up, Sarah. We're in
They're always
alignment today.
here.
The question was going to be, but I'm getting so many people saying one side and so many getting the other. But is the world going to schism if your reality is that we are going up and up and up toward the poofy clouds and it's getting better and better and better. I'm getting more and more and more in my power. And then there are other people who are attempting to balance the light who are, I want to say, falling apart more and more and more. That's not a fair description, but are having their reality, which may not match your reality. How do these two realities exist on the same planet simultaneously or in the same reality or universe together?
Because there are different dimensions of consciousness that are available to you through the vibrational frequency that you're in. So, really briefly and quickly, the third dimension, and some people talk about densities. What the council is referring to is dimensions of consciousness. So, it's like saying Celsius or Fahrenheit, but that's how they refer to it, dimensions of consciousness. So, the third dimension is the dimension of separation, where you have an experience because of the lower level of consciousness and the lower vibrational frequency of separation from source, from others, from the reality that you want to have. There's fear, there's lack, there's limitation, there's struggle. And so the third dimension exists in our human experience here now. And you can choose to live in that dimension of consciousness by lowering your vibrational frequency into a dimension where you're going to experience a heaviness and a struggle. When you begin to raise your vibration into the fourth dimension, that's the fourth dimension of transformation. You elevate your consciousness, you start summoning a little more energy because you realize you can change your circumstances and conditions. You are not a victim. You are not what has happened to you. You can change, you can transform, you can heal, you can release. And so people have more power in the fourth dimension because they're in an elevated frequency and an elevated level of consciousness. But that's not where we intended to exist and thrive. The fifth dimension of pure love is that heaven on earth, is that consciousness of the new earth. Your well being, your abundance is assured. Creation is easy, effortless, and harmonious. In fact, what you want and what you need shows up even before you know you need it. Opportunities present, and it's a yes. And you start to realize that you're not separate from anything, that it's all within you as this force field of consciousness that you are. And your reality begins to move through you. The next step comes to you. And it's a very different way of being, but your consciousness is higher. Therefore, you're summoning a whole lot more energy into your experience, which is why some people experience spontaneous healing, instant manifestation, enlightenment, all those types of things because of their level of consciousness, which determines the amount of energy you're summoning. And it is your energy. It is your light. You're just not resisting it through your thoughts and your perspective and your judgments. And so we are never going to rid the collective human consciousness of the third dimension. That's not your job. Your job is to transcend beyond it. And so some people get really stuck in the fourth dimension because they're in constant judgment of themselves, others, and circumstances and conditions as being wrong or bad. And so anytime you're doing that, you entangle with it and it lowers your vibration. and in some cases, right back into the third dimension, versus accept what is and seek to understand because you're the powerful creator of your reality. And when you know that you are whole, complete, perfect, divine in every way, you can observe without judgment and discern clearly in your life while also still being in your power. You just don't have to make anything wrong, especially yourself. So our opportunity is to transcend judgment, to transcend lack, limitation, to transcend fear. And as you let go, and unworthiness, and the council's like, and unworthiness, that's a big one. So when you get beyond and you come into the knowing of your infinite worthiness, now all of a sudden you see everything from a whole different perspective. You're in your power, you're summoning your energy, and you see that all of this isn't just possible, it's the way you intended it to be. Does that make sense?
It does. So I want to ask one last question before we go to the council. And that question is, what have you been hearing from them about 2025, or what has excited you? Because I want to shift people's energy today to the dun dun dun. What has excited you most for 2025 that you've been hearing?
2025 is your time to thrive. If that's all you remember, that's the intention that you hold. 2025 is
Woohoo!
your time to thrive.
Yeah.
And sit with these words and see how they feel in your body. Time to thrive. You might notice I have a lot of green stuff around me. I've got these beautiful plants, and to me, one of the examples of thriving is plants or flowers or things in nature. And you can just see that nature's thriving, or a plant is thriving, or flowers. And so start to shift your awareness to seeing yourself as thriving, seeing things in your environment that carry the essence of that energy of thriving. What does that feel like? And then sit with this. What does flourishing feel like? What does it feel like to flourish? It's your time to flourish in 2025. Now, here's one. 2025, it's your time to prosper, to live in prosperity. How does it feel in your body to say, I am prospering in my life? What does it feel like in your body to say, it's my time to shine? You might notice that you sit up a little straighter. You might have a smile on your face. You might feel this light in your eyes. Just start to feel into the essence of these words and don't try to figure out how. Start to align with the essence and start aligning the cells of your body to that energy of thriving. Start to align your force field of consciousness and the particles of infinite creation that are you to this energy of flourishing and prospering. Feel what it feels like to shine. You ask that to all of your guests. Are you ready to shine? We hear that question from you. What does it feel like? It feels good. It feels really good. And maybe the most important thing that you do in 2025 is give yourself permission to thrive, no matter what anyone else is choosing. Give yourself permission to flourish. Give yourself permission to prosper. Give yourself permission to shine. Because for most people, that's the most important step, is to actually give themselves permission to thrive. And there's a whole lot of reasons why someone might not do that, usually unconsciously, because maybe other people in your life won't like you if you start thriving and shining. Maybe they'll judge you. Maybe they won't understand you. Maybe you'll have to have more boundaries in your life if you really step into prospering in your life and thriving. Whatever comes up for you is there to show you how you're giving your power away, because you have this notion that if you thrive, somehow others are suffering. And the council says that is exactly the opposite of the truth. As you thrive, you make it easier for others to choose to thrive in their life too. There's this idea that if everyone's thriving, or if you're thriving, or a group of people are thriving, then a group of people are suffering. And it's actually the opposite. You bring that energy of thriving to humanity, and that becomes stronger in the collective consciousness. This desire to thrive, this idea that you could thrive, the awareness that other people are thriving and have overcome things like you have overcome and are thriving. And now all of a sudden you're empowered and you see how this is possible for you, and you see how you are a way shower and presenting a path forward for anyone else who is ready to thrive in their life too.
Are you welcome to Inspire Nation? Are you ready to thrive?
Yes.
Thank you. Would you mind sharing how it works with channeling the council, and then let's dive right in.
Yeah, so I just close my eyes and take a couple breaths, and they're right here, right now, anyway. But I'm just tuning into that energy of their consciousness, which isn't up there, out there, on a cloud somewhere. It's within all of us in this field of consciousness that we all are. And it's just really attuning and connecting to that. My eyes are closed most of the time while I channel. It just helps me to translate the intensity of their message more clearly. And feel for the energy, really feel for that energy, and allow the activation that they bring through as well as their words. So here we go. We are so pleased and delighted to have the opportunity to speak with you on this glorious day. While our words to you are important, this is a vibrational experience, remembering a grander perspective and the truth of who you really are, and to remember that now and forevermore is your opportunity to thrive in every area of your life. These are incredible times. You are a magnificent being, and it's time to be everything that you are here to be. Nothing is stopping you, and nothing is holding you back except your belief in something that possibly could, or your own resistance to the very divine nature that is the truth of who you are. You are consciousness, you are energy, you are light, and anything and everything is possible for you. You are in these magnificent human bodies on earth at this time to truly have the experiences that you want to have, to create yourself and your reality the way that you want it to be, and to bring the great love that you are to earth at this time. So, where would you like to begin?
Thank you. I would like to begin. It was a question that Sara brought up earlier. We are getting many mixed messages. I see it and I feel your energy is going up, up, up as we enter into this new dimension and we enter into this new era, this new time. Why are there so many mixed messages about we're going to shine, we may not make it, if we don't choose it, we're going off a cliff, humanity's over here? We're getting the full spectrum. What is the reality is not a fair world because it's what we choose of it. What is going on here?
You answered your own question. It's whatever you're choosing. You are the powerful creator of your reality. But from our perspective, you have come forth at this time to be on earth during the greatest awakening of human consciousness that has ever occurred, the greatest awakening of consciousness that has ever occurred. You came forth to first go through your own awakening. You are now on a journey into realization, which is a natural evolution into the enlightened, realized, ascended master that you are on earth at this time. This is the best thing going on anywhere. Truly. And humanity has crossed the threshold gone past the tipping point. Humanity will awaken and is awakening. Are you seeing it? There is more consciousness on your planet than ever before. There are more people living consciously than ever before. There is more love on your planet than ever before. There is more people choosing love than ever before. There are more people thriving. There are more people in harmony. There are more people living in abundance. There's more well-being on your planet. There are more people living healthy lives than ever before. There are more people in happy, wonderful relationships. There are more parents that are conscious, loving parents than ever before. Humanity is moving very quickly into higher levels of consciousness, and each individually and collectively summoning greater amounts of energy, which will lead to more innovation, more technological advancements, more people living in a state of realization and enlightenment. There is a far greater purpose for Earth and its inhabitants in this vast and glorious universe once you have awakened individually and collectively. Earth is a very significant part of the greater whole, the greater universe, and yet it is a great privilege to be on Earth at this time during the Great Awakening. This time, like never before, you can come into realization and live as the master that you are in abundance, in well-being, and in harmony. There is more beauty on your planet than ever before. There is more creativity. There are more creations than ever before. And as each one of you step into your experience of a new earth, heaven on earth, you realize that there are so many here who are also living in a new earth, heaven on earth, in that state of consciousness and in that reality with you. And at some point, you truly are not going to see that which is in lower dimensions of consciousness. Just like most of you understand that when you leave the density of the body, you go into higher levels of consciousness because you're at a higher vibrational frequency, because you're no longer focused in form or in density. You know that there are beings in higher realms, that there are angels, that there are guides, there are ascended masters in the higher realms. You also understand that with your physical senses, most of you can't perceive them through your physical senses, but you are really starting to open your own channels to higher realms so that you can communicate with, so that you can receive messages from, and some of you do see, or you go into your imagination, which is the realm of pure potential, which we refer to as the sixth dimension, where there's still reality and form, but it is far more efficient. It is a much quicker creation of reality, but it is still a reality, just like your world. Your world, not everybody else's world, your world. So there will come a point in time when you have mastered this to a point that you don't entangle with the third dimension of separation and it's not part of your experience. But you don't get to choose for others. If their soul's journey throughout eternity has focused them into the third dimension at this point in time, honor where they are. They are a soul on a journey through eternity, just like you. And they will continue to explore higher levels of consciousness, just like you. But allow them to be where they are and in the experience they're at now. It doesn't mean that you can't choose to live in a state of pure love where you are thriving and living in abundance and harmony and well-being. Does that make sense to you?
Does. And I want to use, maybe we can use the earth as a metaphor right now. So what we're describing and what you're talking about is really shifting the channel, is shifting the frequency that we're vibrating at or that we're listening to. This is a carrier wave of information. And as we shift to that higher frequency, that is what we see and that is what we get. And at the same time, how do we do that and recognize that the third dimension of Earth is having challenges, is having fires, is having storms, is having wiping out of wildlife? How can those two coexist, or will the former, replace the latter in our existence?
Well, we go back to being in your power in the now moment. There are many enlightened, realized beings living at the highest level of consciousness who may live in a place where there is a fire or a mudslide, yet their experience is so clearly guided that the next step and the next step and the next step comes, and they navigate it in a level of consciousness where they're continuing to allow a higher vibration to summon energy into their experience, which is the light and the energy that is guiding them. So, what is going on in others' experiences can be compared to what many of you went through when you were going through your own awakening journeys. Many of you went through your own awakening journeys 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and you came to this point where you realized those things that you identified yourself as, the job you had, the house you had, the spouse you had, when they went away for whatever reason, whatever it was in your experience, you're still you, yet you're not who you thought you were. So you start to ask this question, who am I? You start to ask, who am I really? And what is really going on here? And that is what's happening as part of the Great Awakening. And so each soul is guiding each magnificent human on their journey. And ultimately, you have all chosen the path of Earth to have the experience of your own realization. But when you understand the journey, you first go through awakening and then into realization. Now, the path into realization tends to be more harmonious because you're more awake and more aware. You have drawn to you the wisdom and the mastery that is your wisdom and mastery, and you begin to navigate life with greater ease. But everybody's ultimately on this same journey to awakening and then to realization. And all of you on earth have chosen to do so by way of earth. So let others have their experiences wherever they are. When you went through your own experience, there were many who are already living in an enlightened state, but they couldn't fix it for you. They couldn't do it for you. Now, them living in their power, shining their light, you may have been drawn to wisdom and teachings from loving beings, enlightened beings, people who are living in higher levels of consciousness. And so you do contribute immensely to those that are going through their own awakening experiences, whether it's a natural disaster, a loss of a job or a business, the end of a relationship, a near-death experience, a disease. The important thing to know is that what causes the greatest struggle and suffering is denying the truth of who you really are. So if you have gone through what is referred to as the dark night of the soul, you might say, well, how long does it last? It lasts as long as you continue to deny love for yourself. And so if someone has a business that they've started and they've put a lot of money into it, and something happens in the economy, and maybe that product that they sell is now obsolete or no longer relevant, or there's a better product in the marketplace and they go out of business. Most people would start to feel like they're a failure. They screwed up. They did wrong. They did bad. They start judging themselves. They start feeling unworthy and ashamed, and they deny love for themselves. And they go through this, what you refer to as the dark night of the soul. until they come back to this place of remembering who they really are and their inherent worthiness and the love that is the truth of them. But you can't do that for others. You can't walk in their shoes and do it for them. The most important thing that you do is stay in the highest level of consciousness, in the highest level of vibration, in a state of love, and live your heaven on earth experience. Live in your new earth experience. And that will make it so much easier for all who are choosing to awaken, to come into their own power, and to come into the realization of who they are too.
Thank you. Is humanity, you mentioned earlier, uniqueness, almost like this is where the party is going on, using my words here. What is the difference between what's going on in humanity right now and what's gone on in other civilizations or planets or galaxies or who knows where? Is this somehow unique?
It is unique. There is no place like Earth in all of the universe. And that's why we say this is the best thing going on here. And this is why so many of you have experience with or curiosity about beings in higher realms. The higher realms are all focused here on Earth.
Why?
Truly. Because this is like nothing that has ever occurred before. Humanity is literally stepping into a state of pure love, heaven on earth. The dream that is somewhere within every single one of you. But we really emphasize, well, there are those who are absolutely here, focused upon you because of their great love for you, guiding you, and we'll explain our role in all of that. We cannot choose for you. We cannot do it for you. But we know who you really are. And you came for this experience. And so we come forth as a collective of ascended master beings. We are you. You are us. You are the council here on earth. You have already ascended by way of earth into the highest levels of consciousness. Now you came to the physical form at this time to witness your own becoming, to witness your journey, to witness everything that you have created. We are not outside of you. We are not separate from you. We are you. We are the soul, the higher self of all of those who will hear this. You drew this to you. You are channeling this to you. You are remembering everything you already know. You have just been in the earth experience for so long that you think you are your habits and your beliefs and the things you learned. But we never forget the truth of you. And that's why we are here. And so, as we said, this is truly the best thing going on anywhere. And if you will begin to see it from that perspective, you will start to see that those around you are awakening at unprecedented rates. People that you never would have thought or imagined are awakening to their truth. You're seeing communities awaken. You're seeing groups awaken. You're seeing cities and countries and leaders awaken. If you continue to perceive the third dimension as old and bad and wrong, and we've got to get rid of them, and they're terrible, and they're going to ruin our world, you are giving them your power. You are giving them your energy, your attention. You are voting for them. You are giving them your power. If you want to live in a fully awakened world, then start seeing the fully awakened world that is already here. If you're going to focus on the absence of it, you will entangle yourself with the resistance, with the lack, with the limitation, with the struggle. You are not here to rid the earth of the third dimension and everything in it. You're here to elevate yourself beyond it. And the best way we can explain it to you is if you think of the collective consciousness of the third dimension. When you're in the third dimension, you're contributing to that collective consciousness. And the more people focused on it, the more power it has. Not power over you, but almost as a default. You default to the thoughts in the collective human consciousness of the third dimension. As you raise your frequency and you raise your level of consciousness and you're focused in the fourth dimension of transformation, you're contributing to the collective consciousness within the fourth dimension. Your friends might be into self-help too, and personal transformation and spirituality and channeling. Now you're in this collective consciousness of transformation. As you elevate your consciousness to pure love, now all of a sudden, you're giving all of your power, your attention to the collective consciousness of the fifth dimension of pure love. And now that's getting more powerful. And the best way we can explain it to you is as each of you live more fully, more often, more easily in the fifth dimension of pure love, now you're not giving energy to the third dimension and it begins to dissolve. It has less power. You don't default there. You default into a place where your well-being and your abundance is assured. And there's no judgment of any of these dimensions of consciousness from our perspective. But we want you to know that there's something beyond the fourth dimension of transformation where you're always trying to fix and help and heal and change and save and transform. All of that has some element of judgment of something is wrong or something's not right. And you are perfect, divine, whole and complete in every way. When you align to that and you align to that truth within everything and everyone, you will live in the fifth dimension of pure love and you will see that there is a very strong, powerful, collective, fifth dimensional pure love consciousness that exists here and now. And then it just gets easier and easier as it continues to expand. Does that make sense to you?
It does. I want to go to something really profound that you said, and thank you so much. You said that we, or you is the exact word, you have already ascended. You are already an ascended master, and then you have chosen to come back to earth. Why, if we are an ascended master, what does this mean first? And why, if we are an ascended master, do we choose to come and be here at this time and forget that we're an ascended master?
Well, our perspective isn't so much that you chose to forget, but you knew that you would. As part of how a human grows and develops in this experience, you understood that you were going to learn behaviors and learn habits and learn belief systems. And you understood that the whole spectrum of the human experience. And you knew that you would experience all the things on that spectrum. But you also knew that you would remember. And you knew that there was this great love that is you. And you are here because of your great love. Every single one of you. We describe an ascended master as one who comes by the way of earth into their own ascension to live as the master that they are. And we say the unique thing about the ascended master is their great love for humanity, for the animals, for the earth, for nature, for everything in this experience. And so you came forth from this great love. And as a child, you remember having this great love for animals or great love for land or things in nature, a great love for people or for children or for babies or for elderly people. You came for this great love. And there really is nothing better than the great love that you experience on earth in physical form as a human. And that's why you focused yourself here. From our perspective, and we understand that you are in an experience of time and space, and you're experiencing things as linear and geographical, and that's part of the experience. Although the more you raise your vibration and consciousness and summon more and more energy, you will see that time and space are tools for creating your reality. That your imagination is a real place. It is the sixth dimension, the realm of pure potential and possibility. And you start to understand that time and space are tools. You go into your imagination and you explore all sorts of different timelines of potential and possibility that you can create as an experience in physical form. And so we would liken it more like a timeline. You focused yourself into physical form on earth at this time, in this timeline, to experience your own awakening, coming into the realization of all that you are, coming into enlightenment of knowing the ascended master that you are on earth at this time. So then you could have an experience in form like nothing you've ever had before. You're in total freedom, in harmony, you're abundant, you're experiencing well-being, you live in love and joy, you're thriving on earth. And you know that this is the most important thing that you can do to contribute to your beloved human family, to the beloved animals on earth at this time. For those of you who have a great love for humanity, have a great love, maybe that gravitates more towards animals or to the land, the only thing that changes anything, the only thing that is going to change how animals are treated on your planet is consciousness. The only thing that's ever going to change how you treat the land is consciousness. You came to be that consciousness, that energy, that light, that love. Understand that truly, if someone knew they could thrive and do what they love and have an energetic exchange where they're in abundance, they would choose that over stealing from another every time. Someone who steals or robs another or commits a crime or commits violence against another, they are so far from the truth of who they are. It is the hurt people that hurt others the most. Most all of the people that you would consider the most violent criminals on earth have endured some of the greatest suffering, have experienced some of the greatest denial and betrayal of the love that they truly are. But we know, no matter how violent someone has been, because they've been in the density, because they have been in the lowest levels of the third dimension, carrying the greatest amount of shame, that's why they experienced what they experienced. Shame is the heaviest, densest human emotion. So imagine a person, and we're just giving you an extreme here so you get it. Imagine a person that was violently shamed and denied love by a parent. They were taught to shame. They shamed themselves. They took it on. They created habits and behaviors, and then they continued to do things that strengthened that focus on being ashamed of who they are. And then they believed that, and then they continued to do things where they would shame themselves, and they felt shameful about themselves and continued to do things that they were ashamed of. That is not who they are. They are as far from the truth of who they are. We know, because we have experienced it so many times, that you take that person, maybe that has lived in decades of shame, and they are loved, and they are with someone who is in a level of consciousness and a vibrational frequency emanating love and light, and that in that moment they feel it for maybe the first time. They have an incredible power to fully awaken to the love that they are in that moment and live as realized enlightened beings that would never again choose violence or crime. But again, this is the potential that raising your consciousness and vibration and energy and living in light and love, this is the potential and the possibility that it presents to everyone on earth. And you are choosing that every moment. Does that make sense to you?
It
I want to give you
does.
one other analogy. Have
Sure.
you ever
Thank you.
been to a place in all of your travels that you just really didn't fit in?
Probably
That
so.
you didn't like? That maybe there was a lot of trash and garbage and graffiti and barbed wire fences and you didn't feel very good there, and you didn't feel like you fit there, and you didn't really feel like there was people that you resonated with there? Have you ever seen a place like that in a movie?
Seen a place in a movie. In person,
Yeah,
I always find a way to anchor into the light and the
indeed.
love.
Indeed. Indeed. But it's not a judgment, but we just want to give you this analogy.
Yes.
There are people who live in places and choose to live in those places. And you not only don't want to go there, but you yourself certainly don't want to live there. You don't feel like you belong there. It doesn't feel like your people. It doesn't look the way you want your house to look. That's not a judgment, but it's a different place than what you are choosing. Look at the beautiful place you have chosen. Nature, water, sunlight, warm, beautiful, nice people, love. You live there. You've chosen that. You don't need to go rid the world of these places that you don't want to live in order to live where you want to live. And again, it's not a judgment. We just think that the analogy helps you see it. Or thinking of a time where you went to a place where you went, this isn't really my place. Sarah has wonderful family that lives in the Midwest in farmland where the weather can get very, very cold. She loves her family. She loves to visit them. But when she's there, it's very clear to her this isn't where she wants to live. She goes back to a warm, beautiful environment where there's a lot of nature and green all year long and sunshine. You don't have to make the other place wrong. You don't have to get everybody to leave that place when it's where they are choosing to be. And the same is true with consciousness, if that makes sense to you. Levels of consciousness, dimensions of consciousness. And there are some that live in places that don't think they're worthy of living someplace better. And their belief that they aren't worthy of living someplace better keeps them in that place. And you also have lots of examples of where you would call war-torn countries on your planet, where people are leaving those places and going to places where there is freedom and love and cooperation and connection. And they are creating a whole new life in these places. And there are some that are choosing to stay. But truly, everyone has the power. And everyone really is free to create their reality. in this earth plane. Everyone has free will, but you also have the free will to deem yourself unworthy, to deem yourself a victim and deem yourself powerless and deem that there's no way. And from our perspective, we can't fix that or change that for them, and neither can you. But you can elevate yourself into freedom and joy and love and harmony and connection and well being and community and all of those beautiful things that you want for your life. Does that make sense to you?
It does. One last question. Any last words or guidance or wisdom or anything that you want to share for everybody as we are just mere days into 2025 when this airs, into a new year of thriving, into a new year of one's own personal power?
I want you to know that it is your divine, inherent birthright to thrive, to prosper, to flourish, and to shine. And if you will become aware of that and shift your perspective to it is your divine, inherent birthright, you will begin to perceive a whole new reality that is here and has always been, where you are thriving in every area of your life. So we make it simple. It's time to thrive in 2025 and forevermore on earth. You truly came here as a thriving, flourishing, prosperous, divine being. You were shining so brightly before you ever focused yourself into physical form. And that's why you came. To shine, to thrive, to love, to be all that you are, to choose the experiences you want to have for you. Let go of everything that you have learned until now that is not aligned to the truth that you are here to thrive. You don't have to go through this big process of releasing and where did I pick up those beliefs and where did I learn that. Just understand that it all led you to here. It all led you to now. And this is the time that you have chosen. This is the time that you have chosen. 2025 is your time to thrive. You have the power within you, truly. You summon energy to you. It's all your energy. It's all your light. It's all your power. And when you're in lower levels of consciousness, you're not summoning a whole lot of your own energy. You're not summoning a whole lot of your own power. So you feel helpless. You feel victimized. You feel powerless. As you come into the fifth dimension of pure love and you elevate your consciousness and you begin to really summon the energy and the power and the light that's really you, life is incredible and amazing and magnificent and glorious. And you know somewhere within you that is the way you intended it to be and is the greatest contribution you make to your beloved human family, the animals, the land. You are here because of your great love. You are here for great love. You are here to be great love, expand great love, share great love, receive great love. Now is your time. You are everything you wish to be. You already are. It is all within you. It always will be. We have enjoyed this conversation with you so very much. We love you. We love you. We love you. And with that, we are complete.
Thank you.
Okay, look at your background right now. If that isn't the image of thriving.
We're very lucky. We are very, very
Wow.
lucky.
I'm so happy to open my eyes to that. Wow, that is
uh,
perfect.
yeah, we're blessed. We are. And it all started in here. I can remember decades. It doesn't seem that long ago, decades ago, 2 years not being able to run heat through Colorado winters, had my gas shut off. A summer after that, where I ate dog food for the summer. I could have bought other things, but my dogs already had the food and I was struggling to get by. And this, throw a few near death experiences in there too for fun. But it starts in here. It all starts in here.
Yeah. I I have so much compassion and relate so much. And I had the same experience. I literally had a time in my life where I couldn't have imagined the life I'm living now. And it was an inside job, 100%. And the council said the only thing that stands between you and you living the greatest version of you in your life is the belief in your own worthiness. And I can tell you in those times it was such a struggle that I know I wasn't summoning a whole lot of the energy to create my reality. But as you start to draw this wisdom and this mastery to you that is, as the council says, your wisdom, you are drawing this to you to remember. As you start to do so, you feel your vibration raising, you feel your consciousness raising, you feel this energy in your life. It's your energy. And it's the energy that draws the next perfect step to you, that draws the divinely orchestrated next perfect step to you. And it seems sometimes like it all just happened overnight. But I also remember being where you explained you were and where I was, and thinking that time just drug on and on and on. But I wish I would have had this one thing from the council. I'm not sure I would have gotten it then, but I certainly get it now. And it's the one affirmation: I know who I am. I know who I am. I am not the person that can't pay the gas bill. I am not the person who can't afford food. I know who I am. And it's not a judgment of that. It's not a judgment of that. I know I'm not lack. I know I'm not limitation. I know I'm not struggle. I know who I am. And you don't have to finish that sentence. It's a complete sentence in itself or a complete affirmation. I know who I am. I know who I am. I know who I am. And then they would follow it with, therefore, it is. I know who I am. I know I'm abundant. I know I'm here to live a good life. I know I'm here to to thrive. I know I'm here to create my reality. Therefore, it is. It is. And it can be really frustrating in that moment when someone says, align to it, right? Align to it, and you will have the reality you want. But one of the things that created this huge shift for me, the council was talking to someone who is in our community, and she's an incredible healer, and she said she was completely guided. You know, she raised the vibration, she was creating this portal of light, and this person that had come to have a healing experience, and she said, I knew and I heard clearly that this person was healed. And I knew that she said I didn't do it, but she said I know that in that moment that person had allowed to such a point that they were healed. And she said, I heard it clearly. They're healed. And her question was, all right, it's been a few days, but this person is still having symptoms, but I clearly heard they're healed. And the council said, the time it takes for that person to realize their infinite well-being or that they're healed is their journey. And the time it takes for the physical body to regenerate and rejuvenate your cells to be healed and in a state of infinite well-being is unique to every body. Some bodies might have been in such resistance that the second they fully align with the light and the truth of who they are, the body is letting go of so much resistance so quickly that they do experience spontaneous healings. For others, the time it takes the body to regenerate and rejuvenate itself to align with that spontaneous healing that occurred, whether it takes a day or a week or a month or a year, they're healed. They are infinite well-being. And so start to shift to, I know I'm going to see it. I know I'm going to experience it. I know it's here. I know it's coming. I know my body's aligning to it. I know my reality is aligning to it. And when you understand something like that, you can take it to relationships or finances or your lifestyle or whatever it is. But know that that's part of the fun here in the human experience. And I'll just add this one last thing, because the other thing that Council talked about, the realm of imagination, everything is very fluid. Everything is very fluid. So you can imagine yourself on a boat out on that lake there under the stars on a bright full moon night, floating in a boat or a canoe looking up at the stars, and you're there. And then you can focus on being at the beach with your feet in the sand, hearing the waves, and you're there. And then you can focus on being with the love of your life, having a beautiful dinner at a nice restaurant, and you're there, right? But it's so fluid. Part of what's so sacred about the human experience is that form continues to stay form. The experience continues to be your experience, and you expand the experience. And that was a really helpful shift for me, to really appreciate the form here. And that I can look out at my rose garden right now, and then I can go in my backyard and go play with my dog, and I can come back and my rose garden's still there and the dog's still in the backyard, right? That's the fun of form.
Yes. And how
Yeah.
does it get any better than this?
Yeah.
Oh, this has been beautiful. This has been special. My daughter is dancing in the background, and I have a feeling she wants to say hi as we wind things up, as we talk about how far we have all come, and that it all started in here, and it's not letting go of that belief in who and what we are. So let's see if she wants to say goodbye to you
Yeah.
before we wrap things up.
Perfect.
Hold on one second.
And as you do, what is the absolute proof that we're here to thrive, that we come here as thriving beings? The absolute proof is an innocent, playful, joyful child. So, yeah.
You want to say hi to Sarah?
Hello.
Can you say hi? Oh, you want to play with the
Oh, I
remote
love
control?
your pretty dress. I love your pretty dress. That is thriving right there.
I know you want to play with the soundboard now, but you want to wave to Sarah as we begin to wrap things up? Bye.
Bye. Thank you
Can you
so
wave?
much, Michael. This has been amazing.
This has been so beautiful. So, Sarah, where can people go to find your work and to find all you have to offer?
Go to saralandon.com or resources.saralandon.com. There's lots of free resources there. We have some incredible courses and a brand new course starting in January of 2025. I have 3 books out. You Are a Channel, The Wisdom of the Council, The Dream, the Journey, Eternity, and God. And I have to mention our amazing Master's Class Global Community. We meet live every Wednesday and do channeled sessions with the council and dedicated channeled sessions. And it's just been such an incredible dream come true to create our master's class program and community. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I love conversations like this. You truly are thriving. And what a perfect manifestation of it, getting to see your beautiful daughter in your beautiful place and the bright light and energy that you are. Thank you.
Goes both ways. Big hug, Sarah. It
Thank
so goes
you.
both ways. So for everyone out there, this is Michael Sandler and Hannah Bear saying, be well, have fun, shine like the light, the manifester, the everything that you are. Yeah. And above and beyond all else, shine bright. Can go, woo.
Woohoo.
Wow, wow, wow. What a beautiful special show. What a beautiful special. Oh my gosh. What a beautiful special show we just had. And oh, I love Sarah and I love her work so much. And I love what the council had to share, because this is a time about stepping back into your power. This is a time of stepping back into who and what you are. This new year here can be your special sacred time to thrive at the highest level. On that note, if you want to join us to become a mystic, to live at the highest level of existence, I know that sounds like too much, to spend time with Hana Bear each and every week, 4 weeks a month, come join the School of Mystics. I know, School of Mystics, link down below, 4 Wednesdays every single month to bring you to the highest level. Down. And if you want to simply have your energy go up, up, up on a daily basis, Daily Woohoo, dailywoohoo.com is where we have the most beautiful newsletter to help bring your energy up each and every day. And if you want to channel, if you want to hear from the other side, if you want to be able to communicate with your angels, with your guides, with the equivalent of the council, with your own personal counsel, simply go to automatic writing. That's that link down below, automatic writing down below. And we have live classes once a month as well, along with an entire program to get you started today to be able to hear from the other side. Here's a link to the next amazing show. Love you so, so much. Here's a link to the next amazing show. Love you so, so much. Keep on shining bright. Woohoo! How does it get any better than this? A Hana Bear on the trampoline. That's how it gets any better than this.